Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
Today we're coming at you from the south entrance of Yellowstone National Park.
And we're coming at you from inside because it's raining a bit right now. But if you are not watching the series, please go back and check that out. We are trying to divide the park into east, south. We also do the Tetons with this section, west and north. So, and we're doing sections of the park, and we're also doing where we are finding some first come camping. So, getting on to the south. There are really only three big things that we did in this section.
Yeah. One of the things we did was, of course, Old Faithful. And it did not disappoint.
We also, in this area, went to the West Thumb Geyser Basin and the Black Sand Basin. And I gotta tell you, it is so cool just to be driving and you're seeing steam come up. And but the basins, what's impressed me so far is we've done a total of 3 now, counting the east, and they're all so unique.
Yes.
And so our goal is to hit them all. But that is one of the things you don't want to overlook, so let's get to it. Okay, we're going to talk to you a little bit about Old Faithful Village.
It is really something to see.
It is probably one of the most, I'm going to say it is the most well-known thing in Yellowstone, and so it is crowded. We were there September 7th, which was Thursday of Labor Day weekend, and we had not experienced really crowds anywhere, but there it was still very crowded. Now, we were not in the least worried about being shoved off of the boardwalks or anything like that. But just want to let you know, anytime you go there, expect to not be alone.
Yes.
But there are a couple of general stores there. There's one that's just a general store that has souvenirs, a snack shop, things like that. But then if you go around to where the gas pumps are, that's really kind of a historic general store that is there at the front of Old Faithful Inn.
And written in wood, it says fountain on the building.
And unfortunately, I didn't get a picture of that. But as we bought bison burgers at the snack shop there. Marlena bought that for me for my birthday lunch. And from sitting in the front on just sitting there in front of the general store, we were able to watch a geyser right across the street, and I believe the ranger said that was Lion.
Yes.
And it was so neat to see that geyser go. And then we walked the boardwalk some there around there behind the information building and sat on a bench there and watched Old Faithful erupt. And folks, it's just amazing the different pools that they have that are just boiling water all around there. And
I wanted to add, while we were sitting eating lunch, there was a bison across the street. I couldn't see it, but Sharon was sitting in the perfect place to watch people be idiots around the bison.
Yeah, I'm not going to promote people going up to a bison and getting too close, so you don't get pictures of that. But it was so neat to see all of these thermal activity, all the thermal activity that there is out there. And some of those, you're looking down in this boiling water, and it is just bluer than any blue water I've ever seen. And then some had a greenish tint, and it was just fascinating. And then the inn, the lodge. I had heard, many of you may have watched Long Long Honeymoon. He worked here when he was a teenager, etc. But they had said you have to go in the lodge. That yes, the lodge at the Grand Canyon and places like that, other historic lodges are impressive, but This one takes a cake.
Yes.
You're still, I went up to the third level of the mezzanine there, and you're still walking on the logs that were put there
Yes.
in 1903, 1904.
Yes.
I mean, it's just,
It's 5 levels, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yes. And just as a little extra, they had a violinist on the 2nd level.
Yeah, we're gonna move over here in the shade anyway, yeah, so he was playing while everybody was coming and going. It was so interesting to be there and,
See these beams that have been there for 120 years.
yeah, the logs that are still holding this place up, it is just incredible.
And I
And-
was fascinated by the chimney.
I took a video that showed how many tons of granite there are in that chimney
Yes.
and how far above the hotel it goes. It is just fascinating, amazing, and still in use. And so we did not check to see what the nightly rate was because we already had a beautiful campsite.
But the guy from Long Long Honeymoon said if you choose to eat in the lodge, you're paying for the ambiance of the lodge.
at the time that he worked here,
Yes.
and so it is. You're just a part of history when you're
Yes.
there, and that was so neat.
Yes.
But the village is the one-way traffic going around it, which makes sense. While we were here, there was plenty of room for RV parking,
Yes.
kind of further out. But like I said, we're here in September, so we cannot guarantee that would be the case in
But
July
we did
or
find
June.
parking spaces, which I'm not sure you could. in
We
July or
got
August.
yeah, but it is a neat place, and obviously, if you're coming to Yellowstone, a place that you're probably going to want to stop
Yes.
and spend the better part of a day just there, and you
Yeah.
can do that.
And let's face it, you want to see Old Faithful anyway.
Absolutely. Okay, we are at West Thumb Geyser Basin, and got here right about 8 o'clock this morning, and it's chilly, but it's spectacular.
There are some that are like at Mud Volcano where they're just kind of muddy and bubbling up. And there are others, Sharon, where the water is so clear.
And some, like there's one back here, you can hear it. You may not be able to hear it, but it's just churning and bubbling. And this whole area is a boardwalk, and it is ADA accessible. And so
If you're in a wheelchair, you might want someone to help you up and down the little hills.
but it's just amazing how much geothermal activity there is here. There are a few that look like they're kind of drying up, but you can see there's a hole that goes way down.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons they tell you not to get off the boardwalk.
And then there is one just there at the edge of the parking lot that is just boiling and bubbling and amazing. It's the different colors. Now, I will say that this does not pack the wallop that the mud volcano or area did. That one, you could smell the sulfur so strongly.
Nor the same as Old Faithful. These aren't
the massive ones, but to me, one of the coolest things is you have, the entire time you're walking out here, you have this view of Yellowstone Lake kind of in the background.
Yes.
And so it is an amazing stop.
and you connect with Old Faithful. You don't see it actually boiling. With these, you can see a lot of them just boiling.
bubbling and boiling. And so this is a stop that you do not want to miss if you're on the southern section of Yellowstone.
We are at Black Sand Basin. And folks, you might not think, well, it's a basin, whatever. There is hydrothermal activity everywhere. And there are a few that look like little geysers. They're popping up 5 feet or so.
Well, and then some of them go on up a little bit higher than that. Then there's some that are just boiling, bubbling.
Yes.
You may be able to hear that behind us. Some where it's just steam coming off. And this one, we've actually seen a lot of color.
Yes.
Orange and white. And then some of the water just is clear. And one of the things that's really neat here is there is a creek just running right through the middle of it.
And it's some of the clearest water I've ever seen.
But one of the geysers here, it's going off like every 5 minutes or
Yes.
less, and going up, say, 10 feet or so.
Yes.
And this, if you're coming in from the south, is just, and heading west, this is just past Old Faithful and across the street.
Yes.
And once again,
It's
completely
worth a stop.
ADA accessible. The boardwalk is wonderful, and guys, this is just amazing and beautiful country. And to see all of these geysers and the different colors, and
The mountains.
well, but then you've got some that look like they're about the size of maybe 8 inches across, and some
Yes.
that are several feet across.
Yes.
It's just very interesting and well worth a stop.
Yes.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at the south section of Yellowstone National Park. And once again, check out the camping. That camping location was absolutely amazing. And Tetons, if you're going to be in that area. Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.